Ella. No disrespect. I apologize, okay? For anybody out there who's wondering who I'm talking to. It's not my beautiful guest. It's her beautiful guest, Ella Fitzgerald.
Salazar
Villarreal, her dog. Yeah. The dog that belongs to, of course, my phenomenal guest today, who I super appreciate you coming out. It's been a while since we actually got a chance to hang out in person. So the one and only Uzette Salazar. Uzi, how you doing today? Thank you so much. Yes,
Thank you.
golf
I'm doing
applaud.
great. I'm so excited to see you.
Yeah.
And wow, you are flourishing, and I'm really proud of you.
I appreciate that, Uzi.
Mijo.
Thank you. I love it when you call me Mijo because I get that feeling. I'm like, yes, the warmth. Uzi's warmth.
Yes.
And see, that's what people have to understand. Like, that's why we go back to, not, like the radio world is how we became acquainted.
Right.
But
small world.
It's a small world. Mm-hmm. And that's the craziest part about it, like when I was working over at KMBR and we would go over to that place Grumpy's around the corner, mm-hmm. we'd see all the Alice people there. But I didn't even know who I was like talking to at the time. It would be you and Bryn. I'd see some people from KMBR that would come down there from the game and stuff. I was like,
it's like the Gulch. Everyone goes there from radio and TV. There's so many TV stations and radio stations in that area that you go to Grumpy's because the food's good and it's cheap.
Absolutely. And they were heavy-handed. Like once you got to know the bartenders, I'd be like, dog, let me get a rum and Coke. At first they'd be like, yeah, rum and Coke. And then after a couple of months, I'd be like, let me get a rum and Coke. It was just like hella rum and like a little splash of Coke. You know?
Maybe.
So we became, that's how we all became friends there. But me and you, we became tight through that same process. But then, I started going and doing the movie reviews over at Alice and stuff.
Right.
And
you're our friend Rudy.
Our friend Rudy.
Well, I mean, that's how it came because I would talk about you and then Bryn knew you because we hung out. And Sarah and Vinny would be like, who's our friend Rudy? And I'm like, our friend Rudy. And then we started bringing you on the show, and then you became our friend Rudy.
And I loved the fact that like people would address me online as our friend Rudy. I'm like, holy shit, I've just become friends with an entire community. Remember that this one year, this is like one of the best presents I ever got. You guys went on air and you guys asked the listeners to go follow me on Facebook. And in one day, no bullshit, P, in one day, I went from like 600 followers to like 4,000 followers in one day. Now, I haven't really budged too much from there since then.
He has under 6,000.
Yeah.
Still. And I'm like, why, dude?
I'm
why?
Like, I don't know. I need to go back on the radio for my birthday and have somebody hook me up.
For my present,
yeah. For my present, I want 5,000 more followers, please. Uh-huh. But it's just little stuff like that. And then obviously all the good times that we had hanging out and just, chopping it up, drinking and talking and stuff. We've had a really good experience, as friends over the last 5 years. So that's just why I appreciate you coming here so much.
I don't have a lot of Mexican friends, believe it or not.
That's the thing about Mexicans. Like once we make it, we try to leave us behind. It's like I don't need you people anymore.
No, that's not it. I always felt very out of place.
I hear you
with fellow Mexicans.
No, but why is that though? Because Uzette Salazar.
Spanish.
Oh, okay.
I don't speak Spanish, and I always felt that they thought I was less. Even in high school, I kind of went to. I could be on the quad.
Right.
With different people, whether it be, African Americans, white folk, Mexicans. I kind of just migrated different places.
Right.
But never really felt at home. I always felt like, oh shoot, J-Lo said it today.
Right.
She feels like an outsider in Hollywood. But I always felt like an outsider everywhere. But always connected because I was always friendly with everyone.
Yes.
Because to me, that was important to be, a part of everything.
Exactly. Because you have to have an openness. I mean, for the industry that we chose to be a part of, you do have to have an openness. You have to have an adaptability, because you never know who you're going to come across. And also you never know how they're going to act. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that you have to let people walk all over you, but sometimes I find myself in positions where it's like, oh, I didn't know this guy was going to be an asshole. And now we're on air together. You know what I mean? So I kind of have to be able to adapt to whatever, their personality is.
Right.
But I want to touch on something real quick because you were saying how you kind of felt like an outsider because you didn't speak Spanish. Now, could you just kind of elaborate on that? Because I speak Spanish, but I know exactly where you're coming from. A lot of my cousins that don't speak Spanish, they tell me that they always feel like they're kind of like on the outskirts, you know, because me and my mom will start talking, oh yeah, ma, ¿qué pasó? Hey, quiero un taco, you know, start speaking Spanish amongst the family, uncles, cousins, whatever. Sure. And then it's always like that kid who somebody has to translate for them so they could understand what's going on. Is that what your experience was like?
Yeah. And it's interesting because my dad, I was born in East LA.
Oh, wow.
I was born in East LA.
Damn, that's basically Mexico City 2.0.
Right?
Wow.
But I think at that time, and you hear and read about this kind of stuff where the parents want to bring you out of that world.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, we all know.
Right.
So at that time, my dad was doing radio and TV, and he, I think, thought that it would not behoove us to speak Spanish.
Interesting. So
we had this the babysitter person that would come in when he was working, and she spoke Spanish. So she would try to teach us.
Right.
But I don't know if something happened that my dad said no. But it was detrimental to us. Yeah. He would never condone that now. I'm sure that was one of his biggest regrets.
Right.
That we did not learn Spanish. I mean, we took it in high school and college, whatever, but it just never.
No. I get that though. Like I could kind of understand where your dad was coming from at the time, because I know my parents, for the most part, they wanted to ensure that English was like my first language. But they also wanted me to speak Spanish because they wanted me to hang on to my roots. Right. But the fact that they wanted me to have English as my first language, that let me know that they were worried that, you know, I might get judged, or life might just be a little bit harder for me.
Exactly.
If I wasn't really committed to English.
Exactly.
And in a lot of ways, they're not wrong, right? I mean, because, you know, we have to speak English on a day-to-day basis. And when I speak Spanish, it's with my family and with my friends. But to go to school, to go to work, if you don't know the language, you're putting yourself in a tough spot. That's a big problem. Yeah. That's why I get mad at my uncles or whatever that come from Mexico, and they'll be here for like 40 years and they don't know the language. I'm like, dude, 40 fucking years, man. Like Rosetta Stone is $30. I'll get you that. Just ask for it, Theo, and I got you.
Yeah.
But your dad and your mom, were they originally from East LA, or were they from Mexico too?
Mom from Visalia.
Okay.
And dad from East LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever have any family in Mexico that you went to go visit?
No.
Good. Keep it in America.
It was a couple generations. I mean, I did go to a gravestone in El Paso to see my great grandma, but that was it. Yeah.
That was it. Okay. Yeah. We used to go.
But obviously, we visited Mexico and climbed the pyramids and all the stuff. But.
Well, you're as Latina as it gets, okay? You have the Latina sass, as we like to call it, okay? So I know all about that. You don't have to worry about being an outsider anymore. I give you the brown stamp.
Yeah,
you have it.
Brown girl.
So all right, so tell me what you've been up to after Alice and all that. I know you're working over at Hall of Fame Radio.
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
It's going great. I love the music so much. Hall of Fame Music Radio, HOFMradio.com. I get up every morning, 5:30 a.m. and record a show that is now, they keep giving me more hours, oddly enough. So I do 4 hours every morning, and it's called voice tracking, where I get on my computer, I get a list of songs, intros, outros, and talk music news, talk celebrity garbage, and I have fun with it.
Right.
Other than that, Coffee TV 20, I've been doing segments for them.
Yes.
And just, it's kind of cool because I get to choose my topics. It can be anything from, Black History Month to, I did Martin Yan. Yan can cook.
Yan can cook? I remember him.
I love him.
I used to watch that dude on PBS all the time.
Yes, it's still on. It's still on. So I did a few segments with him. Any nonprofit organizations, whether it be for people needing food, people needing help with their children. It's anything. It's varied. Or I can interview a rock musician or a comedian.
Hey, I'm still waiting for a phone call.
I been thinking about you. I didn't want you to take my shine though. So
No. I feel like Scott Capurro is still preferred over me at this.
Yeah, I would never interview Scott Capurro. I love him to death, but he's just.
I see he's very busy as well. So I totally get it. I know he's like working out of England or something like that, right?
I just saw him at a show the other day.
Oh, cool. So he's back in the Bay.
He's back in the Bay for a moment.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you come right down the street from my house, I'll go to your show too.
Okay. Hey, well, that's a bet. That's a bet. All right. But okay, just to backtrack a little bit because you mentioned something, and which is kind of like the whole reason why we're here together. You were talking about picking your own topics, and part of the reason why I wanted, with the radio station and doing the stuff over at Coffee, you get to pick your own topics. It's like a lot of liberty there. One of the reasons why I started this podcast is because I wanted to pick my own topic, and the topic that I've been running with is this notion of T.R.A.G.I.C as an acronym. Okay. Time renders all great and just as comical. It's a lot.
It's a lot. I actually had to look up a lot of stuff just to be here. I don't even know what he's talking about.
Let me just look.
What is he talking about?
You have to get a glossary just to figure it out. But, well, number one, I came up with that notion when I was high, so that had a lot to do with it. But I actually think there's a lot of truth behind it, because we're living in a time right now where it's like people are going through a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to kind of be able to talk about your story, talk about the things that have helped you like develop as a person. And because you're one of the more interesting people that I know, I wanted to invite you here today.
Or am I just available for you?
Yeah, you were like 15th on my list. Yeah. I called Stomper from the Coliseum, but he had a birthday party to do. So I was like, Uzi's next. It's alphabetical order.
Jimmy, can Jimmy drive me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy's available.
I was like, hold up, Jimmy is Stomper? Holy shit. We're talking about Jimmy, the person who was kind enough to bring Uzette here today. Appreciate you, Jimmy.
Jimmy Chris.
Nice pink beard, by the way.
Yeah.
We don't have a camera on Jimmy, but we're gonna have to get a pink beard or a pink a camera of the pink beard so we can get a picture of it in the podcast.
Yeah.
I like it. But with that being said, though, that's.
I wore pink for you.
You guys are matching. Mm-hmm. You guys are see. That's how I know you guys are on the same level. She's matching her jewelry with your pubic hair. That's phenomenal. That's how you know you're vibing with somebody. Shit, man, don't dye it, or else you're gonna have to get a whole new ensemble. But with that being said, though, Uzi, I wanted to invite you here so you can tell me your tragic tale. Tell me a story about a time when things were. Not in your favor, when the odds were against you and you were able to kind of persevere and get through it. And tell me about how you came out better on the other side.
And I want you to say that one word that I need to hear for me to tell this is that how we can laugh about it now.
Absolutely. Time renders all great and just as comical. How you went through something, you had to persevere. And now when you look back on it, although it may have caused some pain or some distress, you can look back on it and laugh at it now. Mm-hmm. Tell me that story. Tell me your tale.
It's hard to know where to start because it's so blurry, but it's hilarious and awful all at the same time.
Those are the best.
Okay.
Hilarious and awful.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
And frankly, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be with my husband.
Oh, wow. Holy shit, pop open the vodka.
I might need some more, Pierce.
We're going to need some more, P. Super producer Pierce.
Let's see. I was still in college at the time. And I think I had just started, I better not name names. I was started to work at a radio station.
Yeah.
I also had moved out of my father's house, went to a fiance's house, broke up with him. He was just...
Oh, wow.
I know. He was so nice.
He only fulfilled you this much?
Yeah.
That's what that means, y'all. Every dude out there was triggered by this motion.
He was so great. I loved him, and I still love him. But I actually said, if I marry... Oh, we got engaged.
Yeah.
Well, sort of. I said, I think about it, but I wore the ring. And I said, if I marry you, I'm going to cheat on you.
Oh, hold up. You told him that? You told him those words?
Yeah.
And he was okay with it?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm really glad you didn't marry that guy. It sounds like a simp.
It was just, he was so great at everything, but just...
Is that enough though, Yuzi? Is that enough to just completely bypass love?
For me, no, it's not enough.
Yeah, of course, clearly, yeah. But I'm saying though that to have one of these, that's enough to completely let somebody go that you loved.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because, like I said, I'm gonna cheat on you. Yeah. I need things.
You need things. Yes. We all have desires and needs.
Yes.
Fucking women, man. Jesus Christ.
Híjole, you know? So I left him and I got into a bind because I rented an apartment on the peninsula. Loved this apartment. It was $600 a month.
God damn.
Oh, it was $600 a month.
Why have you changed San Francisco? Why?
And so I was going to school and working at this radio station part-time, and I needed money.
Yeah.
My gorgeous girlfriend, big, tall, blonde, long hair, and just everything natural, suggested that we do something together.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wait, what? Oh, no.
Suggested that you do something together. Like skydiving or?
No, I've been skydiving.
Okay. Yeah.
And it wasn't that.
It wasn't all that?
It was that. It wasn't that.
Okay.
So she suggested that we go to, I think it possibly was an amateur night for a dance club.
Okay.
And so we picked our songs that we were going to dance to. And my first song I ever danced to in front of people at a nightclub.
Now hold on a second though. When you talk about dancing, are we talking about at a dance club with a bunch of people on the dance floor? Or are we talking about dancing like in a go-go, like in a cage, hanging on the stage or something like that?
It's considered go-go.
Okay.
But it is also a strip club.
All right. Now I see this. Now the story's coming together. Okay, so
no one ever got naked.
Yeah.
But you just maybe have an outfit and then you take off. So Aerosmith's Sweet Emotion was my first song.
Okay.
And it was interesting because, and I don't know, I wish we could look it up right now. Sweet Emotion is a long song.
Yeah.
What I learned in the business is that you pick long songs.
Okay.
Because you do long songs because you get tipped longer.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I've been to strip club. I know this wasn't a strip club, but I've been to strip clubs before, and sometimes I feel cheated because the girl will be like, I'll dance a whole song for you. I'm like, cool.
And then
the song is like a minute and 40 seconds. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, shit.
I mean, old school songs are shorter typically, but songs as you get more current are longer. Yeah. With the drum solo or a guitar solo, whatever. I'm
like, can you give me a lap dance to Jimi Hendrix's American National Anthem, please?
Some freaking 11-minute Led Zeppelin song.
Right, let me get that. Yeah. The remix.
I know. So we went to this club in San Mateo. No longer there anymore. In fact, it's a burger joint now. But the funny thing is, if you went downstairs, you would see the magic.
Okay. That's where the magic's at.
So I went there with her. Obviously, we both got hired. And she chickened out on me and was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, oh, you dragged me into this.
It was her idea.
It was her idea. I never even knew about that world.
Right.
I really didn't.
Right.
And so I needed to pay $600 rent.
Right.
And my school fees, my books.
So you hadn't even considered this world. Your gorgeous blonde friend says, hey, look, I have an idea. We can make some money doing this, this, and that. Yeah. You actually realize that you can make some money off of it. And then all of a sudden she bails on you.
Right.
Oh my God, what an ass. What was her reasoning? She just flat out got scared?
Oh, I think the person she was living with at the time was not into it.
Oh, wow. Okay. So she had a relationship.
Yeah.
She had a relationship that kind of interfered with that type of work, obviously.
So, okay, fine, whatever.
And you didn't have to worry about this anymore. So you were free to do whatever you wanted.
Yeah. So I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
So I started working there. 2 nights a week. Mm-hmm. I think 2 nights a week I was working there. And yeah, I mean, it was interesting, humiliating. It was...
Why humiliating, though?
Because, like, really, this is what I'm doing?
Okay.
Really?
So you were kind of, I mean, but you were young. You were like, what, early 20s?
Early 20s.
Okay.
Obviously, I was 21, so a little bit over that. But still doing college. I was doing internships. I was getting up. I would go there and work, I think, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. at night to 2 a.m., then I'd go home and get up at 6 a.m. to go to an internship at a news TV station.
Wow.
Do that. I'd go downstairs to another job and work there. I would work like 4 hours for the news station, go downstairs, work at another place, and then go back upstairs to do another station.
Damn, so you'd be done at the club at 2 a.m. and then have to be at work at 6?
Yeah.
Damn, that's not even enough time to take the tassels off.
I took them off on the way home.
Yeah, yoink, just rip them off in the elevator.
So, skip forward. Mm-hmm. I leave that club.
Yeah.
Because I hear about a better club.
Oh, okay. Okay. So now you saw an opportunity to level up.
I needed more money.
You need more money, yeah.
I need more money.
So before you went to the new club, how long were you there for? How long were you dancing?
At that club?
Yeah.
Shucks, maybe a year.
Oh, okay.
You know, time kind of misses me these days.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I was there for maybe a year.
But you were handling your business. You were paying your rent.
I was still,
Were you still in touch with the friend, the blonde chick that chickened out on you? Do you
want to hear that?
I mean,
let's take a sidestep.
Let's take a sidestep. Let's do it. Go for it.
Because what I found out later is she propositioned my husband, who I have now, for a BJ.
Get the fuck out of here.
I was supposed to be her. You drink, huh?
She's like, holy shit, he took a big old sip on that. my super producer P's jaw dropped.
I told you it was gonna be gnarly.
P was like, what's her name? Trying to find her on Instagram and shit.
She wanted me to be her, not best woman. What's it called?
The maid of honor.
Maid of honor,
yeah.
I don't even know this kind of girl stuff.
Yeah.
So maid of honor, and maybe 2 days before I found out, my husband told me, my now husband at that time, he was maybe my boyfriend.
Yeah.
That she had propositioned him to give him oral sex in his car.
Get the fuck out of here. Wow. So this girl was all sorts of fucked up. I mean, she lured you into this world that you weren't even familiar with, and then she chickened out on you.
I'm a grown adult.
Yeah.
I make decisions on my own.
Your
so
decision.
I don't want to, make her the bad guy.
Right.
It's just what happened.
Right. But she's still pretty shitty for wanting to, give your husband or your fiance a blowjob.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. So that lets me know what kind of person this individual was already. So you go from after a year of dancing, go dancing at this one place, this one club, you level up to a new place. And you go there and you say, I'm going to make some more money here.
I bet some people have been there before.
Here's looking at you, Jimmy. He's like, you think it's pink because because I dyed it? No, I got a condition.
It's closed down now.
Okay.
I think it's condos now. But
do you remember what it was called?
Yes, I remember.
What is it?
I just can't.
Okay, well, you guys can Google it at home.
Or give me more vodka.
Okay, yeah. On the way. Say no more.
And this place was banging. It was banging. And because it was banging was the reason Silicon Valley back in those days was money.
Yeah.
Like money. And men were coming in. And I only work day shifts.
Okay.
Like I'm a day girl.
Right.
I don't do nights. So I would come in at 11 a.m., Each one of us had not separate dressing rooms. At that place, you had 2 dressing rooms, maybe 3, I can't remember. And you had a trunk.
Yeah.
So all your outfits were in a trunk. And, I was very clean about my outfits. Like if you wore one, you're sweating in it.
Right.
So I would clean it off and I'd put it in a little bag, little handy wrap bag, and like, okay, that one's clean. Let's take that one home.
You're very precise about your stuff.
I was about my stuff.
Nice.
So I would show up at 11 a.m. and they would the manager at the time would give you your dance score. So you would
scored you?
I say score for lack of better terms because they would give you what number you were in line.
Okay, all right.
And you knew you were on his good side if you got a certain number.
So what was it? Like the earlier the better or the later the better?
The lunchtime was better.
The lunchtime was better, okay.
Because they served lunch there. And I never had the best roast beef sandwiches ever.
Can I tell you something?
Place.
I've heard of places of certain dance institutions.
Well, you're eating and watching.
Where it's like they have this buffet.
It's awesome.
And when you think about it, you're like, wait, a buffet at this place? No way. Then you go there. And you're like, this is the goddamn best Cobb salad I've ever had in my life.
Exactly.
I want to meet the chef.
So good.
The chef got his titties out. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Holy shit. Like, thank you, sir.
It was so good. I mean, the food was delicious, and it's the greatest deal. And sure, you'd be dancing in front of a man while he's eating his roast beef or whatever the heck his steak, whatever he's eating. And I found it comical. I mean, I would be on stage dancing and just laughing as I looked around at these folks like, oh, God.
What kind of guys are coming in like at 11 o'clock in the morning?
They were businessmen.
Yeah.
They were Silicon Valley men that had a lot of money to spend. Whether they were married or not wasn't my concern. I mean, I'm not sleeping with them or exchanging numbers,
Right.
It was comical. For a long time, it was comical until it wasn't.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm imagining that a lot of those guys, although they were businessmen, probably maybe some of them felt powerful enough to approach you at times. I would imagine that something like that happened at some point.
And you had to be approachable, as well. And my job was to dance on stage, and I did that. I think maybe, let's say from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., I had probably 2, maybe 3 times that I danced on stage. Other than that, I was slinging drinks.
Yeah. In the same club? Mm-hmm. Oh, so you were like a bartender and...
Not a bartender, a waitress, server.
Wow.
And dancing when it's your turn.
Holy shit, that must have been interesting for the guys. Like, you just bring me a rum and coke and all of a sudden you're on stage. Like, holy shit, you got to get a double tip for that. That's for damn sure.
Well, I mean, honestly, still have friends that I hung out with back in the day. The men that I hung out with, they're still my friends. I have 3 of them that are still my friends. And that was 20-something years ago. Yeah.
So, damn, well, that's just a testament to how lovable you are. like the fact that these guys came in on a business situation and all of a sudden they befriended you for all these years. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so you go to this new place and I'm imagining that you enjoyed it more, you made more money there? And
the girls did not like me.
Why?
Because girls don't like competition.
Okay.
Which is fine, and I get that. I also could not see. It was the dark. I have eye problems.
Right.
And there I am serving drinks, spilling on girls.
Oh, shit. Sorry, bitch.
I know. They hated me for that. And I'd be like, God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I was sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. We're dealing with cocktail tables that are everywhere. Pardon me. Sorry.
You okay?
I keep hitting. But finally, sometimes I would sit down and have drinks with the men and then have the other girls bring me drinks.
Wow. Oh, then they really hated you after that.
Well, but the men paid them.
Of course. Of course.
So I'm okay with that.
So you ended up working there and you ended up like befriending a lot of the guys that you worked with or that you saw there. How long did you stay at that second club?
2 years, maybe 3. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I really can't remember time. Maybe 2 years.
Maybe 2 years, yeah.
Maybe 2 years.
So when it was time to wrap it up there at this club, which shall not be named, but we can all Google at some point. When it was time to wrap it up, like what made you want to change, shift careers, or stop doing that? Because I mean that's a hell of a that's a hell of a shift, though.
Yeah. I started getting sad about doing what I was doing. I wanted to be more into my career in radio, and it was hard going from dancing on a stage to going to a newsroom.
Right.
I mean,
right.
that's what I was doing every day, and it just got hard, and I started to mess with my mind.
Yeah.
And also my husband. The day that I'm going to go back for a second.
Go ahead.
The day that I went to apply at this particular club, and I swear to God, I'm wearing not a tank top, a turtleneck. Like, I'm just like, sitting at the bar, trying to put my application in. And this guy turns to me and goes, Uzette Salazar, what the fuck are you doing here?
He recognized you.
And I'm like, oh, it's John. And John was my boss before he was my boyfriend.
Oh.
My husband was my boss before he was my boyfriend.
So wait. So John was your boss at...
It's very convoluted, sorry.
No, but this is interesting, though. He was your boss at the newsroom?
He was my boss when he worked for an alcohol company.
Okay.
And so I was a girl, without naming products.
Yeah.
I was a girl that went and promoted alcohol, whether it be a beer, whatever their brand was at that moment.
Yes.
I was wearing the dress or the shorts that went out to the bars.
Right, because you always
and
need
said, hey, drink this. Hey, drink that. Here's a keychain. Here's a sticker.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I'm like, hey, why don't you buy a blah, blah, blah. So he was my boss. And the girl that I mentioned before, she worked for him first and then brought me along. And when I met him, we were sitting at a bar, ready to work, and he walks in, and I didn't know he was our boss. I told my girlfriend, I go, look at that guy. Look at that guy. And she's all, that's our boss.
Holy shit.
Talked to him. I went home, called my mother, and said, I met the man I'm going to marry.
Oh, so you knew right then and there.
He was the one.
Wow.
He was still married, though.
Okay.
And I never, when I actually love someone, or I, have a crush on someone, I actually can't look at you.
Yeah.
And I actually turn the other way, and I just go,
yeah. So just know that, y'all. So if Uzette Salazar looks you dead in the eyes, you ain't shit. Know that. Just always remember. If she don't blink, you a piece of shit.
I just knew he was going to be the man. So when I ran into him at the club 5 years later, that's where we're like, what?
Wow.
And he's saying he's divorced now, and he's whatever. And I'm like, so when are you taking me out?
And he goes, put that charm on.
And he says, how about tonight? I go, okay.
Shit, John works fast. I like his style. So you guys went out on a date, and
so I say, all right, meet me at. I work fast as well.
Yeah.
So I say, meet me at this hotel bar, because brown chicken.
Thank you, Jimmy. Brown chicken, brown cow.
I've been waiting for this for years.
5 years in the making. Tonight, I'll meet you at a fucking Burger King if I've been waiting for 5 years. Let's go.
For reals, the dumpster. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, and so we meet. I drive over to this bar, whatever, San Jose, the hotel, and then we're just having a few drinks. And he goes, "So would you like to go have dinner at the restaurant, or would you like room service?"
Oh, wow. Holy shit. John, I will be using that for my repertoire. Thank you so much. That's a hell of a line.
It's a good line.
That's a good line.
I said, room service.
I didn't know La Quinta had room service. What, they serve waffles?
Motel 6 has room service. Hello, Little Caesar.
They send a hot and ready to your room at Motel 6.
So, so we go up, get stuff done, and I'm like, I'm starving. Let's order cheeseburgers. So we're naked eating cheeseburgers in a room, And then, whatever, 5:00 rolls around the morning. And I'm wearing this tiny crop shirt, this was when I was younger and hotter. And this tiny little skirt. And so I go, hey, so we're walking downstairs to my car. And I go, hey, let me do this. And so the man up front is out there. And I go, I'm sorry, what was your name again? And then the guy's like, oh, like looking at me like you whore, or you're a prostitute or whatever.
You disgust me.
And John's like, oh, John. And I'm like, and we just laugh. We're just trying to make a scene. It's just a scene. And there I go off to my newsroom job. And, it's like ridiculous. So, yeah. So there's the story of John. Once he came to my place, he never left.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how you hold on to a man right there. Once you come to my place, you ain't going nowhere. So he was no longer, when he was your boss, is that when, was that blonde girl still working for him at the time?
Yeah. For the moment. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because now it's kind of starting to make a little more sense how that blonde girl.
He, I think, took her from a job site to another job site. We used to go to like 2 or 3 different bars a night. Yeah. To go promote the whatever brand. And yeah, he told me that, and I believed him over my girlfriend. Right. I just did. Right. Because I knew she was
one of those
shady.
Damn, you never know.
You know what? And I feel bad still to this day because I really would love to be your friend, but I can't be a friend to someone that's.
Dude, that's a deceiving person. That's a shady person. You can't befriend somebody who's gonna like try to blow your fiance. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he wasn't my fiance at the time, but still.
The fact that you guys,
she knew I was down for this dude.
Do you think she was doing it just to kind of get back at you?
No, I think she was just horny.
Yeah, it happens.
It does.
It happens.
I mean, I get it. It's okay.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, brown chicken, brown cow. But I think that's the term of the day. So you ended up after that encounter with John and you guys like hitting it off. You were done with the dancing, or did you stay there for a while?
No, that was the first day that I signed up for dancing that I saw John.
Oh,
that was the first day.
Holy shit!
In an application level that I saw John next to me, and I'm like, what? He's asking me what I'm doing there. What are you doing here?
Wow!
But he was selling his product.
His product, of course,
because that's what he does. And I'll tell you, out of all that time, he only tipped me $1 one time while I was dancing. My husband, y'all. $1 one time.
That's how you know you really loved him. Because even though you got a shitty tip, you were like, I'm going to still be with this dude for the rest of my life.
But that's how I know he's a cheap fuck. Because he will never tip a girl. He's a bad tipper. And that's why often I go, oh, God. Like I carry extra cash just to tip people. Because he's just a bad tipper.
Well, I mean, because especially in the, like, if you worked in an industry where, like, you need
service,
tips. Service industry. Yeah. You know how important the tips are.
It is. Yeah. And I over tip.
Right.
Like, to a ridiculous point. But
is it because specifically because you know what it's like to receive a shitty tip because you worked in the service industry?
Well, it's that, and I also want to leave there with people thinking that I'm a baller.
Yeah, straight up, right? You gotta sometimes you gotta lie to look fly.
Which I'm not a baller, you guys, at all.
But I want people to believe it.
I also think people deserve it. Like, I gave an Uber driver the other day $15 because he was so freaking smart and funny. And everything he was saying, I was just like, wow, that's cool. Good for you. Yay.
Hey, man, you never know.
I'm like, how much cash do I have? Here's $15. I mean, my bill was like $50 coming from the city back home. But
shit, they got to pay for their own gas. You know, you got to hook them up. Yeah. So that time that you spent dancing and, you know, basically working in that industry and, you know, it's go-go dancing was a little more accurate, right? Because obviously nobody got naked.
Right.
But what did you learn like while you were there? Like, what is it that you look back on now at that time and you say, damn, like I could really pull something from this?
I can't believe I did that.
Really?
I cannot believe I did that. With my morals and everything I grew up with, Catholic school.
Did your family know about this while you were like who knew that you were doing this?
I think that an ex-boyfriend called up my mom at one point and told her.
Fucking hater.
I think that my dad didn't really know. I'm pretty sure he didn't know. I don't think my brother knew. It was a close, guarded secret, and it has been because I haven't told this story ever.
Wow.
You're the first one I've told this to.
Wow, exclusive. Nice. This is, but what is it? The story itself. I mean, because now you've gone through an entire lifetime. You've been with your husband for a while. You've had successes in your career and things like that. Why do you think that you still kept this story like such a dark place?
I felt that it would hurt my career.
Yeah.
And I didn't want people to think I was a whore.
Right.
I mean,
right. Because I know that
I was gonna say I never slept with anyone, but hold on.
She's like, let me recalibrate. Hold on a second.
I slept with one guy.
I mean, look, we've all slept with people that we worked with, or people that we met at work. I mean, that's not out of the ordinary.
Who did you sleep with?
Shit, Home Depot. Hi, how you doing? The entire garden department at Home Depot. I'm looking at you. No, but I mean, I say that because that's not so uncommon. Like when you sleep with somebody that you work with, that happens. I feel like that happens.
Yeah, I don't
in any
care about
industry.
that part. I just didn't want people to think that I was a bad person because I did that.
Right.
And the thing is that I did that only to make me money.
Of course.
I'm looking for a right word, which I cannot find right now. But I was going to school. I was working so many jobs and internships at the time that I was trying to sustain my life.
Yeah.
Tragic part.
Yeah.
You ready?
Go for it.
There was many days where I came to that job, and I only worked, I think, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And there came a point where I was sad. I just started getting like, what is going on here? What am I doing? Yes, I'm making $300-$400 a night, but
at what cost?
My God, yeah, yeah. And I wasn't sleeping with any of them.
Yeah.
I mean, except for that one guy.
Right.
Which he ended up proposing to me, and I still love him, and I still talk to him to this day.
Usually you're good.
And there's another one.
Damn, Yuzi, you're cursed. We keep on coming across these. Gentlemen, please. We need to start wearing like
gorgeous,
different bands.
So he looks like Kurt Russell.
Oh, wow.
I mean, gorgeous, big blue eyes, and just freaking hot, and really just a go-getter. And so I had to choose. There came a point where I was dating John, this gentleman that I'm talking about, and then another guy. So I labeled them ABC.
Holy shit.
And so what I would do is I'd go out with ABC, and
that's how they grade beef. A, B, and C.
I don't know about that. But
so who was A? John was A, I'm imagining.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
She's and they all knew it. I never lied to anybody about who I'm dating. Like, I'm dating someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I don't expect you to give me back the same routine, but this is who I am.
Well, I mean,
and I'm going to tell you the truth.
If you were willing to tell your first shrimp dude that you were going to cheat on him, then I believe the fact that you're an honest person, because that takes a lot of courage to tell somebody like it's not going to work out.
I don't want any surprises. Here's who I am, and here's what I do. So, what was the question?
No, sorry, we just got caught up in so many of these. I know when you're being bombarded with tiny dicks, it's kind of hard to keep your mind right.
There's only those two. Oh shoot, there's a third one.
No, but what we were touching on was like the fact that you were starting to become sad when you were working there.
Okay, so sad that I was working there, and tired. Yeah. It's tiring, and it costs a lot of money. You're buying outfits.
You got to buy the outfits, of course.
Yes, and there used to be this woman, I can't remember her name, but she would come in, a couple women would come in and sell the girls bikinis, outfits, gorgeous stuff.
Oh, wow.
But it'd be like $200 an outfit.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money to be spending, but you want it to be different every time you came out.
Right.
You know, you want to be
want to stand out.
Yes.
Yeah, I got to get them tips.
I think I was mostly known for my thigh highs. I used to wear a lot of thigh highs.
Yeah.
And that can be like really expensive. But I think one day I woke up And I went there and I just was looking around. I was outside of myself, looking around, going, this is a POS.
Yeah.
F this. And I remember they had different stages. So when you finished the main stage, you would have to go to the second stage. And then you'd have to go to a third stage.
Okay.
So I was at the third stage. And this one guy gives me like $6. And I was like, wow.
You kind of feel like, damn, like, is this what I'm worth? $6?
Yeah.
And you know,
a $5 bill and a $1 bill.
You were like, that was at least a $10 dance. Shell out the other $4. No, but it's interesting because, you know, I'm not here to say that, you know, anybody who chooses that industry is going to go through the same thing. But I would say that anybody who's going against their morals, like if you felt like you were going against your morals,
I did,
and the things that you believe yourself to be,
I did.
That must have been part of the reason as to why you started becoming so sad, because when you fight your own integrity, you know, you're going to feel empty.
It's gut wrenching.
Yeah. How long do you feel like you were really at that point where you were fighting yourself?
For months. I mean, the first year it was like, all right then.
Right.
Yeah. The second year, I swear to God, I think it was only 2 years. Maybe that.
Yeah.
So it gets gross.
Go for it.
So the guy gives me $6, right? And he's the only one at this third stage. And it's probably, I don't know, 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And I, all of a sudden, just stop. And I walked off stage. I just left.
Mid-dance.
Mid-dance.
Said, fuck this.
I get back to the dressing room. And I remember, this is so gross, you guys. I was wearing a white bikini.
Uh-huh.
I freaking look down and there's blood all over my white bikini. And this mother bleeper didn't even tell me. No one told me.
This guy, the $6 man. Holy shit. That's probably why he brought it down to $6. It was like,
or why he gave me $6.
Right? Dude, nobody told you this? All these other, I know the girls weren't going to say shit because these bitches are haters. But this guy was, you know what that means? He was enjoying that. Fuck, that is gross. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I could enjoy. I've been to many clubs myself and enjoyed a dance from time to time. I don't know if I could.
How could I not have felt it? How could I not the memory of it. Oh.
But I mean, but see, I'm more inclined to believe that it's more possible for you to not realize what's going on than it is for the fucking guy who's watching.
As always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
And was he like smiling? Do you remember him smiling, like
sure,
enjoying the dance?
They all smiled.
He was like, they better fucking all smile. But you know, you can't blame yourself for that one though. I mean, that's on the guy.
I walked into the dressing room.
Yeah.
Packed up my little trunk and told the manager, I'm done.
That was it, huh?
I'm done.
That was the last.
And I'm crying, by the way. And I think I probably called my husband and said, this is it. So, moving forward, I remember being at my apartment, and I remember it being a morning hour, and there I was drinking vodka out of the bottle, which, that's sad.
Right. Early in the morning,
drinking vodka. And I told John had spent the night, and I was crying, saying, I don't know what I'm going to do for money anymore. You know, I left there. And then he just said, I'm moving in.
Okay.
I'm like, Okay.
Like,
Okay.
like, that was good.
Okay.
You're like, oh, and then you put the vodka in a cup. Like, okay, I'm good now. I'm better.
Like, I'll put a mixer in it now.
Put a piece of celery in it to make it look classy. But that brought you and John together, though.
Yeah, that was the beginning of him. You know, he had never left my side before that, and he never left after that. So he moved into my apartment, and we started splitting the bills, and I started working more at the news station, and got another job, and it just started being better.
Yeah, yeah.
So I can laugh at that now.
Of course.
But at the time, it was pretty tragic and awful and ugly.
Well, I could imagine. I mean, like I said earlier, you know, when you're going against your better intuition, you're gonna feel empty. That's common for anybody. Anybody who's pushed back on their own morals, they're gonna feel empty. But
it was a means to the end. Like I had to pay PG&E, I had to pay the bills, and not to say, oh, I couldn't get a job flipping burgers or anything like that, but that was...
But like the bills are due tomorrow, you know, like when the bills are due, they're due.
It was a lazy, easy way for me to use this.
Yeah.
And do that. And again, for the first year, it was fun.
Right.
It was fun.
Because then the money starts blocking your morals. You're like, fuck it, I'm making money, I'm getting paid.
I was like throwing money in my drawer. My girlfriend would be like, hey, can you lend me some money? I go, yeah. You have the keys to my house. There's a there's a drawer full of money in there.
Right.
Take whatever you need.
Like second drawer next to the socks. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean,
don't mind the butt plug. Just leave that right there. Just put that. Just push that off to the side.
For the record, I've never used one.
Not everybody's drawers are the same. Okay. So when you look, and obviously you've been with John all this time, you guys have like an amazing partnership, you know.
It was like 20. We just celebrated our anniversary, and I think we've been together about 27 years.
Fuck, man, congratulations.
I'm old.
Hey, no, you guys. It's not that you guys are thorough. A lot of people can't. 27 years, not too many people can say that. You know?
He's amazing.
Yeah. When you look back on that time now that you've gone through, you know, different phases of your life, and you're here. Even though you felt empty or you felt like you were going against your own morals and going against what you thought was the standard for yourself. We all go through that type of stuff. What do you think you've learned, and how would you advise somebody who may find themselves in like that position right now?
It's hard for me to advise anybody. I mean, perseverance is very important, and believe in yourself and let other people help you. I mean, honestly, if I didn't let John help me, I'd still be dancing there. No, right. Even though it's not there anymore.
Yeah, but I'd still be there in the condos. That's my.
I'd be there Thursday night entertainment.
Let me tell you something. If I bought a condo and the door person was some lady just dancing, I'd be like, hell yeah, what's up? Let me open that. Let me get that for you. You know? Yeah.
No, it's just.
Would you change much if you could go back? Would you change anything about it?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
No, I mean the bleeding part. Yeah.
Maybe that part.
I would change that part.
Maybe wear some black bottoms.
Yeah. Did I have to have my period that day?
Holy shit. Dude, but honestly,
I'll never forget it, Rudy.
How could you?
I'll never forget it.
Fuck, dude. If if nothing makes you reassess your life, then having your period in front of a $6 man.
In a white bikini. A white bikini.
At 2:00 on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Shit, man. I don't know. That's definitely something that's going to make you reassess what's going on.
So, I mean, there's been a lot of talk over the years with, you know, the morning show and stuff, and I've never said anything like that. And I was going to tell you another story today, but it didn't necessarily end in comedy. And this ends in comedy. Right. That I can look back and go, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it's super crazy.
But the reason, and that's why this whole idea is interesting to me, because the reason it ends in comedy, or the reason that we can laugh at things, is because we persevere through them. You know, that's the whole That's the main ingredient. If you don't persevere through something and get ahead of it and get beyond it, then you're never going to look back and laugh at it because you're going to be trapped in it. But you didn't do that. You actually went and you said, fuck it, I'm going to figure out a way to move forward with my life. You know, you were blessed enough to find John, and you guys have like a real special connection and have a life together.
He's great.
That's a blessing in and of itself.
Totally.
And it's an example of what happens when you actually stick to, you know, what you think is a better future for yourself. A lot of people give up on themselves. A lot of people say, fuck it, this is the best I can do, or I can never recover from this. But you didn't do that. You took the other route, and here you are today.
And thank you for saying that. Here I am today trying to recover from something else and trying to rediscover myself again. You know, we all rediscover ourselves. We have these paths that we're going through, but I don't know. I'm looking for a new path right now. Yeah. And if I could get over that thing.
Yeah, right. Shit, if we could get over some bloody bikini bottoms, let me tell you something. Nothing can stop us, Uzi. All right? Look, I pissed on myself in front of my friends in Little League one time when I was 9 years old. In front of my crush.
Oh, wait. Was that at the
baseball game? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and then what happened was he tried to hide it by getting on the dirt.
Right.
And then he looked like he pooped.
Yeah.
So
and literally they make you wear these white pants. So I understand where you're coming from with the white bottoms. I had it looked like a chocolate mustache right here in the middle of my pants. And my crush was there. The girl that I liked from school was there. And you know what's fucked up? My dad, such a cheap ass, he was like, well, we're not leaving until you go get your hot dog and your soda because we already paid for it. I'm like, but Dad, I pissed. Get the fucking hot dog. I'm like, you motherfucker. All right. So here I am in line eating a hot dog with fucking pissy pants. So it's not exactly the same thing, but I kind of understand where you come from with that. I love you, Uzi. And I really appreciate the fact that you would come and even like give me, you know, your time and this story that I know you haven't told anybody to.
Can you believe I've never told this before?
You know, now that you mentioned that the bikini part, yeah, I kind of can believe it. But
minus the bikini part. But after all these years of radio, like these people that we know have been wanting me to tell this story for 20 years. Yeah. And I never did. And it wasn't until I felt, you know, comfortable with you that I can do that. I'm really afraid where this is going. But I mean,
well, as long as you feel like at least this right now was an opportunity for you to get something off your chest. And honestly, I think that there is a lesson behind it. And that's what this whole podcast is about.
What is that lesson?
The lesson is don't give up on yourself. Even because, you know, a lot of the times, even when we push back on what we think is right for ourselves, and when we go against what we think, or when we go against our own morals, a lot of times that leads people to giving up on themselves. And that's the whole point of this whole podcast is I want to hear people's stories, and I want to hear not just like the tragedy, but I want to hear how they were able to push through it and get to the next phase in their life. And that's exactly what you did. And, you know, I want to touch on something because you were talking about you're trying to reinvent yourself again. The truth is, Uzi, and I'm not trying to be hokey, but I really believe this shit. We're reinventing ourselves every day. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing this podcast right now. I'm a stand-up comic. I've been through the radio world, and I'm trying to make this happen. So in terms of trying to reinvent yourself again, shit, that itself is a blessing. Because not too many people. It is hard. It is hard. But the greatest things, in my opinion, come from the hardest efforts. You know, and here we are, both of us trying to reinvent ourselves somehow, some way. And it is hard, but when it's all said and done, I'm very confident that it's going to be worth it. You know, because that's what this whole life is about, right? It's about doing the hard stuff because it's worth it in the long run. You know, so I appreciate you so much, Uzi. I love you. You know, I love you tremendously, and I appreciate your time. And I want to give you the final word. You know, the floor is yours. Anything you want to say to whoever's watching this, that $6 man or one of these guys that may be watching this video?
I hope he's dead. But
you know what, bro? You know what, little dick? Me too. But anything that you want, any message you want to put out there, the floor is yours.
I'm with you. Thank you for inviting me. I want you to once again mention tragic and what that means.
Absolutely. Time renders all great injustice comical. So it was fucked up then. The odds were against me. I was in a tough spot, but I persevered. I pushed through. And now I could look back, and not only am I better about it, or better because of it, but I can look back and laugh at it now because I've grown beyond it.
I can laugh at that experience. I mean, it was traumatic at the time, but I had great times, and it is what it is.
Absolutely.
And I've done so many fun things in my life that you cannot imagine. Embarrassed, yes, but also I don't live with regrets.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
No Thank you for inviting me.
No need to. No, there's definitely no regrets here. There's no regrets in the fact that we met 5-6 years ago. And I'll say it again. I love you tremendously, Yuzi. Thank you so much for your time.
Mijo.
I appreciate you. Mijo! Uzette Salazar, the one and only, Hall of Fame Radio. Make sure you guys check her out. If you haven't checked her out on her radio show, do yourself a favor. Don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself. It's been the tragic episode. Watch those white bikini bottoms. Be careful. You never know. I'm Rudy Ortiz. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Yuzi. Thank you.
Smile. Pick up your head. It's alright. It's gonna be okay. I know times have been so rough.